student daughter or son, because I'll be speaking a little bit about the program. But of course, anybody's welcome to join. But just so anybody that is here that wants to know, that's kind of the point of the discussion. So I'll begin. Bismillah, alhamdulillah, sallallahu alaihi wasallam. First, I want to thank the EPIC community and the EPIC leadership for allowing me to present this program. It's a program I've been very passionate about and been wanting to work on for a long time. Alhamdulillah, I've been a youth director for many years between Brooklyn and Dallas, and I just transitioned into a new position at the Mass Center where we are launching a new program for this for the next 12 weeks or for the next couple of months that is focused on youth leadership. So I wanted to start by first speaking to you all about the importance of leadership, particularly in our youngsters. And the importance of leadership actually starts with our beloved Muhammad ﷺ, the Prophet ﷺ, and the early companions. Because the Prophet ﷺ was given an extremely difficult task at his time, a man that was unlettered, that lived in the middle of the desert, and really had no capacity or no abilities at all to communicate with the world the message that the Creator gave him to communicate to the world until the end of time. It was a very, very difficult task. But the Prophet ﷺ, Muhammad ﷺ, he focused on the most important resource that he had in order to achieve the mission, the tremendous mission that he was given. And it was only one mission: send a message to humanity until the end of time. And the thing that he invested in wasn't a book, or wasn't writing scripture, or wasn't architecture. The legacy of the Prophet ﷺ was the men and women that he built and left behind him to continue to carry the message. So he invested in leaders, particularly in the first 13 years. If we study the seerah, in depth a little bit, as inshallah we try to do, and we extract important lessons, that the Prophet ﷺ in the first 13 years, from the beginning of Revelation until he left Mecca, that the Prophet ﷺ had about how many people accept Islam? Does anybody know? Raise your hand, give it a shot. No wrong answers. I won't hurt anybody. But anybody know? 70 people. Good answer. Anybody know? 80 people. MashaAllah. Anybody else? Anybody want to take a guess? How many people became Muslim in the 13 years in Mecca? Roughly. Roughly, the answer is, between those that were in Mecca making hijrah and those that were in, where's the other place that they were? Muslims were in? Abyssinia, very good, Habasha. Around the total number was around roughly 130 to 150. Around. So the people that made hijrah with the Prophet ﷺ were around 70 or 80. You guys were close, very good. And around those who were in Habasha were around 50 to 60. Around, rough numbers. So the Prophet ﷺ in 13 years, one person accepted Islam a month. But every single one of those people, when we have those names, became an influential leader for the rest of the ummah during the time of the Prophet ﷺ and after the time of the Prophet ﷺ. They were as-sabiqun al-awwalun. Nothing can compare to them. And even Allah Azza wa Jalla and the Prophet ﷺ referred to them as those special ones. All of them became amazing, influential people. A leader essentially means somebody that influences somebody else to a certain goal. So the Muslim community at that early moment were trained on the ability to influence others towards the goal. Of course, the goal obviously of spreading Islam and creating the Islamic civilization in all of its entities, from its values to its laws and rules to its ethics and morals in every way. Those were the special leaders. So that's what the Prophet ﷺ invested in. So our importance as an ummah today is the importance of investing in leadership. People that can influence others towards positive goals. That's what leadership is. And of course, with any science, any behavior, any characteristic, the younger we start, the more successful we will be. Most leadership sciences now say that leadership starts as young as 2. That if you want to begin to raise a leader, that you begin at the age of 2. Interestingly enough, everybody that the Prophet ﷺ raised in his house was a tremendously influential leader. From Ali bin Abi Talib, the leader of leaders, to Zayd bin Haritha, who was also, as the Prophet said, إِنَّهُ خَلِيقًا لِلْإِمَارَةِ, he was created by Allah to be a leader, to Usama bin Zayd, his son, who was a leader of the likes of Abu Bakr and Umar in different capacities. Everybody that the Prophet raised, and even his wives, including Aisha and Khadija, were tremendous leaders. So the leadership science was extremely perfected by the Prophet ﷺ. He understood it, even though the research and the literature and everything we know today he didn't have. So going back to this science, inshallah, I believe is extremely important. So what we're launching is a youth leadership program, beginning next week actually. This is the last place I'm coming to speak about it. It's a youth leadership program from adolescents, freshmen, sophomores, juniors, seniors in high school, or freshmen, sophomores, juniors in college, where we are taking them through a training on leadership development, leadership values, leadership principles, things that people need in order to be better leaders. Particularly, we are focusing on, at least in these 12 weeks, personal leadership, growing as a leader, managing of money, managing of time, managing of emotions, managing of other people's emotions, understanding how to put a plan together, how to understand what career trajectory you're going into, etc., etc. So a lot of the important elements of personal leadership. And that's what we're focused on. And really one of the gurus of leadership he mentions, John Maxwell, he has a famous law that says that any community, any organization, any company, any group of people, if they want to increase their capabilities of doing anything and achieving the goals that they hope and wish to achieve, that it all begins and ends with their leadership. Their leadership is the ceiling. So if a leadership of a masjid, a center, an organization is a 5 in terms of 1 to 10 in quality, that masjid or organization can only be a 4 in terms of how good they are. They cannot be a 7. Leadership is the lid, if you will, of the community or the organization or the business. It's the bottleneck. It's what holds it back. If you increase leadership from 5 in terms of quality to an 8, then the organization goes easily from a 4 to a 7. But it will never be a 10 because of the leadership. The bottleneck of our community, the important investment in our community, I believe wholeheartedly, I guess I've dedicated my life to it and my studies to it, is this concept of raising and building and increasing the capacity of our leadership. Particularly, alhamdulillah, our elders have done a lot, and they've done a lot of effort and work in our community, but particularly investing in where particularly putting the effort in where the investment is much more long-term in its effect and impact, bi'idhnillah. So the program will run for 12 weeks. We meet 2 hours a week, 2 days a week, Tuesdays and Saturdays. If you have a teenage daughter or a teenage son, or a high school daughter, a daughter or son in college, inshallah, we're beginning at that level. We're beginning also, inshallah, we're launching no matter the number. We're aiming for quality, not quantity, to be able to develop and grow. We're working, alhamdulillah, with the Epic community here and some other communities, and taking some special youth and putting them into the program to give back to the community, and inshallah, to increase their capacity as well and their impact in the community, whatever organization, whatever location that they might be, bi'idhnillah. So that's our program. If you want more details, inshallah, you can speak to me about it. Again, the focus, it's called, if you want to look it up on Facebook, it's called the Youth LEAD, L-E-A-D, Leadership Empowerment and Development Youth Program. So if you want to look it up, there's more details online. I can give you also the link if you would like to register, or if you have more information about the program, inshallah. Jazakallah khairan. Are there any questions? I don't mind taking 1 or 2 questions. Yes? So the evening, so it's after school, Tuesday after school in the evenings. Most likely it's going to be from 6 to 8. Right, so it's going to be in the evening, and Saturdays will be mornings. And this will be at the Mass Center. It will be held at the Mass Center. Saturday mornings are going to be from 10 to 12. Yeah, inshallah. So it's Tuesdays and Saturdays. Again, it's for, I know there's not a lot of youth here, but if there's any youth, definitely do try to sign up or talk to me if you're interested. If there's any parents or if you know of any other parents, please do, inshallah ta'ala, contact them, let them know. Yes, brother Abu Salam. I'm sorry? No, so yes, we will have several instructors, particularly in particular areas. So we have Brother Wadud Hassan from the Irving community. He's going to be doing emotional science, emotional intelligence science. We have Brother Umar Osman that's going to be doing personal finance and leadership. We have Sister Alia Salim with us. We have Brother Iyad and Nashif with us, and some other local community leaders that are investing, that have the knowledge of the leadership. Brother Farzan Parupia from here will be helping us out as well, the youth director here at Epic. So inshallah, we have collected and brought in some guest instructors and others to cover some direct specific things like personal finance, like time management, etc., inshallah. Yeah. Jazakallah khair. Good question. I apologize, I forgot that. Jazakallah khair. Yes. So the cost, Jazakallah khair, good question. So the cost for the 12 weeks is $750, and we have installments if somebody is interested in installments. Yeah. So that the total cost per student is that much, and we are working on maybe getting some kind of grant or sponsorship, but for now that's the cost, inshallah. Jazakallah khairan. Any other questions? Barakallahu feekum. May Allah Azza wa Jalla bless you and your children and our community, inshallah, and our ummah. Barakallahu feekum. Subhanakallah bihamdik, nashhadu an la ilaha illa ant, nastaghfiruka wa natubu ilayk. Barakallahu feekum.